I'd like to call the meeting of the West Valley Water District Board of Directors to order. Can we conduct a roll call, please?
Here.
Director Jenkins,
Present.
Director Young,
Present.
Vice President Garcia,
Present.
President Moore.
Present.
We have a quorum.
All right. We have anyone that wants to, any requests? We're all here? Okay. All right, let's go ahead and, Director Garcia, can you do the Pledge of Allegiance for us?
Yes. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty.
Not sure, are we broadcasting? Shows up black on it.
Oh, is this thing on? Let me text him. Hold on. So I can find his number. I can text him.
Marlon, do you have your mic on? Speaker?
Looks like you can't hear it. Yeah, it looks like it's muted.
Well, ours, board one is black, so are we even broadcasting?
Yeah, he might not be able to see us.
Yeah, let me give him a call.
Oh, for a second. There you go. Hello?
Hey, sir. Can you hear us?
No, I can't hear you.
Okay. Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah, I'm ready.
Can you guys hear him? Okay, let's go.
Okay. You want me to hang up?
Yeah. Okay, I think we're good.
Hello?
Yep.
Hello?
He can't see us.
Oh, we can't.
Can you hear us, sir?
I don't think they started yet, Pastor.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
You can't see us or hear us.
Hello?
Go ahead and start praying, bro.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. Father God, come before you today, and we offer prayer in advance for the West Valley Water District board meeting. We pray specifically for the board members as they discuss the agenda for set before them as they make decisions regarding the cities they provide water services to. We ask you to give them wisdom in this area. We pray for them. We thank you for them. Thank you for the service they provide and in the cities in the Inland Valley. We pray for them and give you glory in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Okay. All right. There's a request.
And I'm sorry, just to be clear, can the public on Zoom see us in the room?
It doesn't seem like it. Should we perhaps take a brief recess until we get it corrected?
I think especially for this meeting, we should be
Yeah.
sure that.
Okay, let's take a recess, see if we can get this resolved.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. That's good. Thank you.
I mean, that looks like a good day for me.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if there's another committee meeting on that night or not, but I know
Yeah, I
it's
guess
the
we'll-
night that I'm free.
Yeah, I mean, other than committee meetings, obviously that works for me.
Yeah, I just
So,
wanted to check, but I don't know what's on the third Tuesday, if there's anything.
it's pretty clear because it used to be executive committee, which is, I'm just doing agenda review with Kelvin, so we're not meeting, so should be good.
Okay.
Should be clear.
Okay, yeah, just.
Start on the 16th?
Yeah, so just have her add it to my schedule.
Okay.
Yeah, and we can just get together. Reboot the whole system.
Oh, looks like it comes on your phone, fine.
No, I'm watching the
I know,
football
I'm just kidding.
game. Hey, why are you touching my pen with
sorry
your
about
sick
that.
fingers? What?
Don't we meet at 5? It's vice versa?
Yes, I believe that is backwards.
Again?
Yeah. So that's probably just a mistake.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We are on there? But can they hear us? But they just.
Oh, neither one. Zoom still.
Working on the Zoom. The agenda says that one can participate via Zoom by clicking on the link or by telephone. And the 218 notice itself doesn't require that we do the meeting by Zoom. So as long as there's an opportunity for someone to call in to the Zoom number, even if they can't see it, and they can hear it, then I think we're okay. Is any of that possible?
But clearly the pastor was having a hard time hearing us, so
And if it's a matter of the timer being on the screen, if that's somehow if the timer was on the screen and that was causing the problem, we can turn the timer off and we'll do the timer manually. All right, so can folks, if they called in on Zoom, could they hear the meeting? Okay. If that's the case, I think we can proceed because the 218 notice doesn't talk about the Zoom. We're not,
that's the problem.
we need,
And you can't hear any audio coming through? Murphy's Law, it has to be this meeting. Of all the meetings meetings to have this issue.
Is, just that we have on the agenda that someone could participate via Zoom. And even though it's not part of the 218 notice, I'm just want to be sure there's somebody just wanted to participate. They
Sure.
have a way to hear and speak.
Absolutely. Like I said, all the meetings for this to happen on. Murphy's Law. We have a gremlin named Murphy.
Could we tell if somebody was trying to call in to hear?
It's working on YouTube, just not on the Zoom.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Mitch. All right. If we have some way for somebody to hear the meeting, and we have that via YouTube and Facebook? You have it on YouTube. Okay. And if we have do we have some way of knowing if someone's trying to call into the Zoom? No, I mean, if someone from the public tries to call in, will we see it? Okay. So let's do that. Let's just proceed. If somebody tries to call into the Zoom, we'll know that someone's trying to call in. We'll stop and do what we can to get that person's audio onto the board meeting. But because the 218 notice doesn't talk about the Zoom option, we do have it being streamed via YouTube. I think we can proceed.
Okay. There's a request also on the agenda to move up the business matters, item number 1, to be heard before a closed session.
I'll move that we adopt the agenda as suggested with the amendment.
I'll second that.
We have a vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Director Jenkins?
Yes.
Director Young?
Yes.
Vice President Garcia?
Yes.
President Moore?
Yes.
5-0. Motion passes.
Okay. No. Huh?
Keep going.
Okay, okay. Okay, here, okay. Okay, also, I'm going to, God, this is wrong. Yeah. Okay, welcome to the West Valley West Valley Water District public hearing on proposed increases to the water service charges. Before we open the public hearing, I would like to ask our legal counsel to explain the requirements of Proposition 218.
And I'd like to introduce my colleague Rich Wall, who has been working with Lucy Carruth in my office and is part of the 218 team. So welcome, Rich.
Thank you. Good evening, President Moore and directors. This public hearing was set in compliance with Proposition 218. The district mailed a notice of public hearing to the record owners of property subject to the imposition of the proposed water service charges and tenants directly liable for the payment of such water service charges. For example, customers of record who are not property owners. The date and time of this public hearing is not less than 45 days after the district mailed the notices. The purposes of the public hearing is for the Board of Directors to hear all oral testimony and consider all written protests concerning the proposed rate increases. It is also held to determine whether there is a majority protest to the proposed rates and whether to proceed with the adoption of the proposed rates. Property owners and tenants may submit a written Tenants may submit written protests up until the close of the public comment portion of the public hearing. Property owners and tenants are not required to provide oral testimony at today's hearing. If you wish, you may simply submit a written protest directly to the board secretary indicating your opposition to the proposed rate increases. However, if you wish your protest to be counted, you must submit a written protest prior to the close of the public hearing this evening. The public hearing will be closed after the board of directors has heard and considered all oral testimony on these items. In order to be counted, protests must be in writing, state that you are protesting the proposed rate increase, include the name of the property owner and tenant, the parcel number or service address, and the signature of the person submitting the written protest. Any protest submitted by email or electronic means will not be accepted as a formal written protest. All valid protests submitted to the district by mail or hand-delivered prior to today's public hearing and received by the board secretary since the notice of the public hearing was mailed will be counted. If written protests against the proposed rate increases are presented by the owners or tenants of a majority of the identified parcels upon which the proposed rate increases to the water service charges are to be imposed, the board of directors may not impose the rate increases. However, if there is no majority protest, the board of directors may impose the rate increase. Pursuant to state law governing Proposition 218 in determining whether a majority protest exists, only one protest per parcel may be counted. Turn it back over to you.
Okay, thank you. Before opening the public hearing, I'd like to ask staff to inform the board as to whether any valid legal objections were submitted, and if so, have all valid legal objections been responded to and presented to the board of directors?
No valid legal objections were received.
Okay. Based on that information, I'd like to ask for a motion and a second to proceed with the opening of the public hearing.
I'll make the motion that we open the public hearing.
I second that motion.
Please call for a vote.
Director Bennett,
Yes.
Director Jenkins,
Yes.
Director Young,
Yes.
Vice President Garcia,
Yes.
President Moore.
Yes.
5-0, motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the public hearing is now open. At this time, I'd like to ask staff for a presentation.
Thank you, Mr. President. The public hearing will be conducted in the following manner. First, staff will provide a report relating to the proposed water service charges. After that presentation, the Board of Directors will call upon any person wishing to speak on this item. Speakers will be given a maximum of 3 minutes, so we ask that you keep your comments brief and to the point so that we can allow everyone a chance to speak, and we will keep time for each speaker. After all oral testimony has been heard, the Board of Directors will close the public hearing and, if needed, have a short recess to determine if a majority protest to the proposed rate increases has been received. Only those written protests submitted prior to the close of the public hearing will be counted. To facilitate the discussion, any questions from speakers will not be answered during the public hearing. If necessary, staff will address questions after the close of the public hearing. Our staff will now provide presentation on the proposed water service charges.
All right. Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. Today we have John Wright from Raftellus to present to the board in this public hearing the West Valley Water District cost of service rate structure study. So I'll leave it to John Wright to start off the presentation.
Good evening. Thank you for having me here. It's been a long and winding road as we've done this comprehensive rate study. My firm's had the pleasure of working with John, Linda, Jose, and Gustavo, who've been terrific throughout the study. We've come to the culmination of the process, which is to ask you tonight to authorize the implementation of updated water rates starting on January 1st, 2026. A very high-level overview of the process that we've been through is we've been through a process that's involved financial planning, a cost allocation process to look at variable and fixed charges that we believe we should be charging for FY26 and the 5-year period starting in FY26. And we're now at the end of the process, which is on the right-hand side of this slide, which you can't see because there's a box up there. But it's the culmination of the Prop 218 process. You issued a Prop 218 notice. You have solicited public protests. And now we're here to seek for you to put the rates into effect on January 1st. So we spent a lot of time working with staff and also making presentations to the board on financial planning options. And just a really high-level overview of the financial planning process that we went through. Number one, we projected what your revenues would be if your current rates remained unchanged. We also projected what your costs would be, both from an O&M and a CIP perspective. And the difference between revenues at existing rates and projected costs turns out to be a revenue shortfall, indicating that you need to increase your rates. And the outcome of that financial planning process was a selection of what you, the board, believed was an optimal financial planning strategy. I believe that too. And identification of what sort of percentage increases are required in rate revenues over the next 5 years. So the board specifically considered 3 financial planning scenarios, and those financial planning scenarios involve different levels of capital improvement program expenditures. The scenario that the board selected after a really detailed consideration was what's shown as scenario 3 on this slide, which is not only your regular capital improvement program expenditures, but an expenditure of $70 million for a new headquarters building and a new operations building. And here's what that selected financial plan looks like in terms of, number one, on this slide, projected CIP expenditures. And this shows projected CIP expenditures for a 10-year period. And the way all of this would be financed is through projected rate increases through 2030 that are 7.5% per year. And I think it's important to clarify, it's really not projected rate increases, it's projected rate revenue increases, because the specific bills that individual customers might face may be more or less than 7.5%. We'd also have a $50 million debt issue in 2029 to help pay for everything. The nice thing about this scenario is that in all of the years in the 10-year projection, we're able to meet our cash reserve targets. And in all of the years, except for basically 2029, we're able to meet a debt service coverage target of 1.75, which is a financial planning target. Years, we're able to meet our minimum contractually required debt service coverage of 1.2. So moving forward with that selected financial plan, it leads us to proposed rates through 2030. And these were the rates that were included in the board's Proposition 218 notice. And first we have our commodity rates. And one of the things you're going to see about these commodity rates is that there is a change in the consumption tier thresholds. Currently, Tier 2 consumption threshold is from 11 to 50 HCF. The new consumption threshold associated with the Prop 218 noticed rates would be 11 to 30 HCF in Tier 2. And in Tier 3, the consumption threshold would start at anything above 30. And these consumption thresholds allow us to more closely align the rates in each tier with the underlying water supply costs associated with your water supply portfolio and the unit cost of water supplies within each tier. We also have proposed monthly fixed charges. And one of the things that's important to note about these fixed charges, and we've talked about it in several workshops, is that you'll see that the monthly charges for larger meter sizes, especially starting at the 3 and 4 inch range, go up. And there are significant increases. And the reason for that is that these proposed monthly service charges better reflect the amount of flow or the flow rate equivalency that can be associated with each meter size. And so the notion is that the larger amount of flow you can force through a meter, the higher rate they ought to be paying. And we're doing that now in these proposed rates. And then finally, we have our monthly private fire line charges. These monthly private fire line charges are also based on flow rate equivalencies, but not flow rates through a meter, flow rates through a pipe diameter associated with a fire line standpipe in a building. So considering I don't have any customer bill impacts in here, Jose. Have we taken those out of our presentation?
No, it'll be after that slide.
Okay.
But I can speak on this slide if you want.
Yeah, I would like you to, because I think it's
Yes.
really a great slide.
Definitely. This is what probably the my favorite slide of the presentation. Not just because I did it, but but because what it really shows, a picture is more than 1,000 words, right? And it really shows how West Valley District has stayed flat in the rates over the last 10 years. I went back for 10 years to see the cumulative change in cost, again, over the past 10 years. And we plotted the employment cost index, the consumer price index, the power or electricity costs that the district has incurred over the last 10 years, and in the engineering's new record index as well. And as you can see, those have increased considerably up to almost 60%, where the district has not increased their rates. And that's really due to the fiscal responsibility from staff, not just myself. I'm not taking credit for it, but it's really staff that has really tightened their belt and making sure that the district operates at a great level and still is very conscientious and has that fiduciary responsibility operating the district for the customers. And again, you'll see the electricity did decrease the first years, but then, as you know, after COVID, it has significantly increased over the years. So that's pretty much what we wanted to show, is how the district has still maintained their again, flat the cost. The other big impact for the district that has allowed the district to not raise rates is the growth that we have encountered. So that's a big help for the district, and we continue to grow as well. We'll be monitoring that. But again, like John has said, we're in a point where we have to raise rates because we're just to that point already. And we could go to the next slide.
Jose liked his slide a lot better than any of my slides, but that's okay. So here are some bill impacts, and this is looking at a customer. This is single-family residential with a 5/8 or 3/4 inch meter. 17 HCF is the average monthly consumption on your system, and you can see that under the proposed FY26 rates, the monthly bill would increase by a projected $5.29. On your system, the average summer usage for a single-family residential customer is 21 HCF. And in the summer months, what you'd see is a bill change from the existing rates of $6.25. Single-family residential with a 1-inch meter, and 1 inch is now the standard size that the district is installing for all new single-family residential connections. You would see the bill increase be $3.68 per month, based on an average consumption rate of 17 HCF. And then in the summer, based on a 21 HCF summer usage, you'd see the bill increase by $4.64. For a commercial customer with a 2-inch meter using 115 HCF, you'd see a $45.19 increase. And then for a commercial customer using 210 HCF, which is kind of a high level of usage for a 2-inch connection, you'd see a bill increase of $64.19. And the amounts there you see for commercial of 115 HCF and 210 per HCF are based on an analysis of your billing records, and I can't quite see the footnote there, but it's representative of commercial usage patterns for a certain percentage of your commercial customers. That concludes my presentation, but I just do want to sum up. This has been a very comprehensive rate study, and throughout the rate study, number one, we've kept in mind the requirements of Proposition 218, and that customer rates should be proportional to the demands that customers are placing on your system, number one. Number two, although Prop 218 is controlling in California, we've also used industry standard cost allocation methodologies to develop these rates. Number three, the board's been very active, and you may have gotten sick of all the workshops over the past year and a half in helping us decide on the appropriate financial planning scenarios. And the rates that were included in the Prop 218 notice and that we've discussed here tonight are reflective of the financial planning scenario that the board elected as the one they wanted to move forward with. I think that's it for me.
If there's any questions, Socorro does have another presentation of all the outreach we have done over the past probably 6 months that she presented to the board, including the public hearing.
Good evening, members of the board of directors, public. My name is Socorro Pantaleo, Manager of Public Outreach and Government Affairs. I want to give an update on the outreach we've done for the Proposition 218. And here's a quick timeline of what this outreach looks like. We also included the Value of Water campaign that we kicked off in September to begin the communication of why the board was looking at a rate increase. Once the board of directors gave us direction on October 2nd, we were able to mail the Prop 218 notice, given the 45-day minimum notice period. And then we are here today with the board action to adopt rates. Once we have that, we'll continue the post-reach communication to our customers. And just quickly, Value of Water, as mentioned, we kicked it off in September, communicating the why of the board was looking at rate adjustment through a brochure that was mailed to our customers, as well as bill inserts in their bills, including on mailed and emailed. We also did workshops. We did 6 workshops in the community throughout the service area. We promoted them through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Nextdoor, Constant Contact. Our monthly newsletters that go out in our customers' bills, as well as email on Constant Contact. Once the board of directors moved forward with the Prop 218 process, this is a copy of the mail of the notice public hearing, both in English and Spanish, that was mailed to our customers. Again, we did another bill insert promoting the workshops for more information for our customers to come out and learn about the Prop 218 process and why we're looking at the rate adjustment. Again, newsletters as well, sent through Constant Contact and on in their bills. We had a website banner, so customers visited our website. They could learn more about the rate workshops and then about today's meeting, today's adoption public hearing. And then, of course, we had our landing page on the website, www.prop218/prop218, that was advertised through the notice and through social media. And on there had more information on the proposed adjustment, FAQs, and how they can contact the district. Social media, where we highlighted different ways that the district was working on projects, how they could contact us. Also, on the public hearing notice today, and then just how we've been able to, why we're looking at this rate increase. And with that, we also had a series of workshops through our community again to talk about the Prop 218 process and talk about why the rates are needed through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Nextdoor, Constant Contact. And there were presentations done at the Fontana City Council, Rialto City Council, and Colton City Council. One of them was highlighted actually in the Fontana Herald News. And this is just kind of a quick copy of some of the slides in the presentation that our General Manager John Thiel presented and our Assistant General Manager Linda Judesky. We also had opportunities for customers to talk to us at the Rialto Farmers Market and other tabling events. Community presentations at the Colton Chamber of Commerce, Rialto Chamber of Commerce, Rialto Rotary, Fontana Rotary, Bloomington MAC. And that is all for me.
Your mic.
Oh. We'll now hear from anyone that wishes to speak.
I don't see anyone. We haven't received any requests either.
Okay. Seeing no others wish to speak, I'm prepared to close the public hearing. Before I do that, I'd like to provide anyone who would like to submit or withdraw a written protest the opportunity to do so. Once the public hearing is closed, the Board of Directors may no longer accept any written protests on the proposed rate increases. Are there any remaining written protests to be delivered to the Board Secretary?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
Public hearing is now closed. At this time, I'd like to ask the Board Secretary whether a recess will be needed to tabulate the results.
I don't have any, so I'm going to
No.
say no. None.
Okay.
Go ahead. At some point, we'll just mention how many protests we did receive.
We received 4 written protests.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I see what she asked for. Okay, the Secretary has advised us that based on the number of valid protests submitted prior to the close of public hearing, a majority of protests does not exist for the adoption of the proposed rates for water service charges.
I apologize for interrupting. There's just 2 sections here. I would like to just kick this over. This will send it to the Secretary. This is her certifying publicly that there were no protests.
Okay,
You can welcome to use mine if you like.
sure.
It's just this top section
Oh.
right there.
I got it.
Yep, okay.
Now I ask Board Secretary to provide Board of Directors with the tabulation results for all valid protests submitted to close, prior to the close of this hearing.
Okay, prior to the close of the public hearing, we received a total of 4 written protest letters regarding the rates for the water service charges, as mentioned by the CFO. For the purpose rates for the district's water service charges, a majority of the owners of the identified parcels or tenants directly liable for such fees would equal $13,427. A majority protest does not exist to the proposed rates for the water service changes. President.
Okay, the Secretary has advised us that based on the number of valid written protests submitted prior to the close of the public hearing, a majority of protests does not exist for the adoption of the proposed rates for the water service charges. The Board may now proceed to consider the proposed resolution to adopt the increases in the water service charges. Do any members of the Board wish to speak or call on staff for any clarification with respect to the proposed rate increases?
I wish to thank the staff for such a thorough report and transparent as well. Raftalis, John at Raftalis, and Socorro and her staff for sharing with the public and all the public outreach we've done. Thank you.
You guys did a fantastic job. They can't say they weren't communicated to, that there's opportunities. You guys saturated every surface. and that was awesome. Okay.
So we'd recommend at this time that the board consider a motion to adopt Resolution 2025-12 of the West Valley Water District Board of Directors to adopt increases to water service rates and charges, finding the adoption of such rates and charges exempt from CEQA requirements, and taking other actions that are in regard thereto.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Director Bennett,
Yes.
Director Jenkins,
No.
Director Young,
Yes.
Vice President Garcia,
Yes.
President Moore.
Yes.
Okay, 4-1, motion passes.
At this point, Mr. President, we'd recommend that the board consider a motion to adopt the ordinance number 91 of the Board of Directors, of the West Valley Water District, which will amend Article 21, which is the schedule of rates, and taking other actions in regard thereto.
Do we have a motion?
So moved?
I second.
Roll call?
Okay, Director Bennett,
Yes.
Director Jenkins,
No.
Director Young,
Yes.
Vice President Garcia,
Yes.
President Moore.
Yes.
4-1, motion passes.
Okay.
That's his cue. You can go. You're done.
Okay. All right, the public comments are for closed session is now, we're going to go into closed session. We're going to go ahead and dismiss for closed session.
So before closed session, we do commonly make a recitation about public comment.
Members of the public may participate and give public comment in one of 4 ways. In person at West Valley Water District's boardroom located in person at 855 West Baseline Road, Rialto, 92376 by filling out a public comment card and submitting it to the board secretary prior to the start of the public comment period, or by joining the Zoom meeting with access code 840-293-7790, or by telephone calling 888-475-4499 with the same access code, and finally, by email to administration@wvwd.org. President?
And there is no one who has requested to speak on closed session.
I'm gonna say
So with
no.
that, yes. We're out of closed session, no
Yes.
action to report, and just to note for the record that after the closed session, Director Jenkins did leave the meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So we're back. We're back. Public comment is open again.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, members of the public may participate in public comment in one of four ways. In person at West Valley Water District's boardroom, located in person at 855 West Baseline Road in Rialto, 92376, by filling out a public comment card and submitting it to the board secretary prior to the start of public comment period. By joining the Zoom meeting with access code 840-293-7790, or by telephone calling 888-475-4499 with the same access code, and lastly, by email to administration@wvwd.org. President?
Okay. Have any public comments been received?
No.
Okay. Is there anyone on Zoom who would like to speak? If so, raise your hand. Seeing no one, seeing none there, public comment is closed. Okay, we have no presentations tonight, so we're going to go to the consent calendar. Does anyone wish to pull or comment on any consent calendar items? Seeing none, can I get a motion on the consent calendar items?
I'll make the motion that we adopt the consent calendar as presented.
Get a second?
I'll second.
For secretary, can we get a roll call?
Okay, Director Bennett?
Yes.
Director Jenkins is absent. After closed session, Director Young?
Yes.
Vice President Garcia?
Yes.
President Moore?
Yes.
4-1, motion passes.
All right. Okay.
President Moore?
Yes.
Would you like to hand it off to Haiti?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, President and members of the board. As you see in your staff report, I have an overview of the need for a new position of the Geographic Information System Technician. The district's Geographic Information Systems functions is essential to nearly every department supporting infrastructure planning, asset management, regulatory compliance, and data-driven decision-making. The current staffing is 1 full-time GIS administrator and 2 part-time GIS interns, which are limited to 1,000 hours per year. The key challenges for this division is heavy reliance on a single staff member for all GIS operations. The intern turnover results in loss of institutional knowledge and inconsistent support. Many GIS tasks are delayed or unaddressed due to workload constraints, and GIS tools and data are underutilized across departments. To address the staffing limitations and ensure long-term sustainability of GIS operations, staff recommends that we create 1 full-time GIS technician to provide critical operational support and continuity. The strategic shift will enhance service reliability, support long-term planning, and align with the district's goals for efficiency and resiliency. Staff recommends, or the board action that is requested, is to approve the creation of a full-time GIS technician position and adopt the proposed salary range as outlined in the salary table. That concludes my report.
And then also to approve the budget amendment?
Oh, yes.
Part of that?
Yes. And for the budget, just to put it on the record, the total compensation cost for the proposed full-time GIS tech position is estimated to be between $125,200 and $176,917. The actual financial impact will be dependent on the candidate's placement upon hire. To fully fund the position for the remainder of the fiscal year, a budget adjustment of approximately $75,000 will be required, assuming the position is filled promptly and placed at the lower end of the salary range. This adjustment will support the salary and benefits associated with the new role.
Do we need to, can we include this motion for both?
No, you can have one motion to adopt all three recommendations.
Okay. Can we have a motion to adopt all three recommendations?
I'll make the motion to adopt staff recommendations for business matter number 2.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Board Secretary, can we do a roll call?
Sure. Director Bennett,
Yes.
Director Jenkins is not in attendance. Director Young,
Yes.
Vice President Garcia,
Yes.
President Moore,
Yes.
4-1, motion passes.
Actually, 401.
0-1,
Right.
that is correct. Oh, I'll add that 0.
Okay. All right, let's move on to board committee reports. Does anyone have any board committee reports?
I'll go ahead and give my report for External Affairs Committee. We met on November 24th, and we were given general updates. The POGA is working with the fleet on procuring a hydro van and did some test drives to help select a vehicle. Staff have been communicating with Cal State San Bernardino about a fellowship program. This item will be going to upcoming HR committee meeting. For IE Works, there was some tax reporting issues, and grants that have been submitted have not been approved because of that. So they're currently having an RFP to hire a CPA firm to get back into compliance. We received 2 sponsorship requests. One was for the Fontana Santos program, in which they requested $2,500, and the Myler High School requested funds for a school bus and the cost to tour our, which is the cost for the tour our facilities. The committee approved these sponsorship requests as per the sponsorship policy, and based on them being authorized for that amount and for the amount for approval. Also, we talked with Church and Associates, which provided updates on the next year's DC advocacy trips, and recommended splitting the trips into 2 separate trips with the board, so that we can increase visibility, strengthen our engagement, and create an additional opportunities for board members to directly interact with members of Congress and federal agencies. We also discussed holding a federal update for the board of directors on January 15th, which will establish district priorities and identify projects for the fiscal year 2027 appropriation cycle. And with the passing of Prop 50, the redistricting initiative, the community of Bloomington will now be represented by Congressman Norma Torres. That concludes my meeting for External Affairs Committee.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Any board members have anything else to report on?
Nothing really to report, but I did want to just thank all the staff for all your hard work on today's public hearing. It's been a very long road, but I do want to thank John, Linda, Jose, Gus, Socorro, all of the public affairs team, everyone who's played a hand in this, BBK, Raftelis. I'm sure I'm missing a consultant or two there, but really great job, everybody. We've been talking about this for a very long time, and so I'm very pleased that we really put out a good campaign, and evidenced by the fact that we had the turnout that we did. So good job, everybody. Jose, I want a copy of that slide because I love that slide. But I did want to just thank you all because I've been watching you all work on this for the last year diligently, and I'm so pleased that we got here to the finish line. So thank you, everybody.
Yes, I attended the well conclusion of the session that I was at, and gave him an overview of my impression, and I hope I gave him some contribution with my position. And overall, the well was very informative, and enjoyed the process.
I attended that as well. I got to see you get pinned. And if you ever have an opportunity to go to WELL, please go to WELL. It's a really worthwhile organization. And once again, hats off to POGA. Man, we talked about getting out to the systems, getting out there and letting the community see us, and they see you, and they compliment you, and they look for you. So you guys have done something that in the last 2 years, that when you look at it, if you do a timeline, that's phenomenal. And we've seen some awards go out today, but I still hold you as the most phenomenal because of what you guys are doing. So keep on doing what you're doing. Let us support you. You got a foundation. You got the wind beneath you. Fly as high as you want to fly. And we just can't wait to see what else you guys are going to do. So thank you. And you have something, Angie? Okay, all right. We're going on to our manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. Start off with some staffing and recruitment updates. So for GIS technician, with your action earlier today, we'll begin that recruitment right away. For customer service supervisor, this is currently posting for about another little more than 3 weeks. And the POGA intern, getting interviews set up. And the 1,000-hour field assistants, also getting interviews set up probably over the next couple weeks. Again, there are 2 open positions for the 1,000-hour field assistants. I want to give you an update on the heli hydrants. We had another meeting continuing to work with the county fire, and Valley District on the heli hydrants project, identifying the best locations, developing preliminary site plans, cost estimates, talking about funding strategies. We also invited representatives from Supervisor Baca and Supervisor Armendariz' office to the call. So making some good progress on that. We're doing some additional research on a potential site near our south service area, and we've got another meeting set up just about 2 weeks from now. So showing some progress there. The county does have another site, I think their own site in the north service area. So I think they're going to focus on that. We potentially will have a site in the south service area that we're working on. So more to come on that. Then I want to talk about the board policies and procedures manual update based on the board direction at the workshop. Paula and I are continuing to complete research, develop alternatives, and updates for discussion and potential changes. So we will review the progress that we've made at the next policy committee meeting. I believe that's on the 11th, and then bring it back to all of the board for discussion, possibly on the 18th, but if not the 18th, certainly in January. And we have a new employee with us tonight and a new employee announcement. Rocky, please.
I'm not the new employee, but Natalie, standing here with me today, she's our new employee. If you remember over the last year, this board reviewed a new job description to create a new project manager position. Natalie is the result of that recruitment.
All right.
She brings us a great wealth of knowledge from her work at the City of Chino in the Public Works Division and the Water Division as an associate engineer. And she's already hit the ground running. She's got an RFP posted on the streets for some of our capital improvement projects for reservoir rehab, and she's looking at modernizing our engineering standards. And she shared with me in her free time, she loves spending time with her family at sporting events. And we just wanted to introduce her, especially because she decided to stay here and enjoy this board meeting with us. So Natalie, if you want to say anything.
Welcome.
Good evening, President Moore and Vice President Garcia and the rest of the directors. It's an honor to be here tonight. It's an honor to join this family at West Valley Water District. I've already been here a little over 4 weeks, and I love it every day. It just it's a fresh start, and I can't wait to participate in doing my part in making this a great service area for our customers. So thank you.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you, Natalie. Just want to mention one more thing. Just got back from the Aqua Fall Conference, like many of us here. And of course, you know, the district was recently awarded the Aqua Region 9 Outreach Award. We were up for the statewide award today and won the statewide award. So more on that a little bit later, but you know, we're competing statewide against like 500 other agencies. So congratulations to our POGA All-Stars.
All right.
That's all for me.
Okay, which brings us to our legal counsel.
And I will pass tonight, Mr. President.
Okay. Then it gives us back to POGA. POGA updates.
Good evening, President Moore, Board of Directors. As John mentioned, today we came back from the Aqua Conference with some nice hardware, Region 9 Award, and then the Outreach Award overall. This is a dedication of our team and here to engage throughout the legislative year in legislation as it moves through the process. So I want to give big kudos to Mayor Joe Harley and Isabel Medina and the board and staff. It wouldn't be possible without a team effort. So, and just for outreach events, we'll be participating next Saturday at the Fontana Christmas Parade.
Okay, who do we have? And lastly, our board secretary.
Okay. Let's see if I can move this calendar over. All righty, so let's look at December. We have our holiday retreat this Saturday, so hope to see you all there. Remember, it's a masquerade, so bring your mask with you and a date. The full week, next week is going to be a full week with HR, Finance, Engineer, and Policy and Review committees. We also have the Fontana Luncheon on Thursday and Fontana Christmas Parade on Saturday, as mentioned by POGA. Our last board meeting of the year is going to be the 18th before a holiday closure. Moving on. Anybody have any questions? No. Otherwise, moving on to January.
Okay.
Good. January, we have canceled our January 1st board meeting, so we have one meeting in January and on January 15th. We will be closed once again on the 19th for Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. And then an important item that's coming up, which is the CMUA's Capital Day on the 26th. That has been added to your calendar, so please respond if you haven't already done so they can continue to make your or finalize your reservations. The same goes for the Aqua Legislative Symposium on February 11th through the 12th, and Aqua DC Conference for February. I know those are in advance, but please look at your calendars and respond if you could. Our acting secretary, Paula, would be very happy with you. And if you don't have any questions, that is my report.
Okay. Well, I believe that's it. So this meeting is adjourned.